Namaste and good evening. We'll start our class with the prayers. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we'll chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra 3 times to pray for those who are in suffering. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyam Amrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyam Amrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyam Amrutat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today welcome everyone, we are having class number 10 today. And last time I told you about the birth of Lord Rama. Then after that Vishwamitra takes Rama and Lakshmana to protect his fire ceremony. He is performing a fire ceremony which demons are coming and disturbing, and he wanted the protection, so he requests for Rama and Lakshmana. And after the successful completion of that fire ceremony, Vishwamitra takes Rama and Lakshmana to Janaka's bow festival. Janaka is the king of Mithila, and he is the king of Mithila. Mithila is the name of city, and Sita is Janaka's daughter, also known as Janaki. And then continuing from there, Rama and Sita see each other in the flower garden. So, as Lord Rama is behaving like a disciple to Vishwamitra, considering him as his guru, Tulsidas says that Lord Rama wakes up before his guru wakes up. And then he does his daily routine and asks his guru that what seva is there. And then guru asks him to pick up some flowers for the worship. And both brothers Rama and Lakshmana, they go to the flower garden for picking up the flowers for worship. While going there, it so happened during the same time, Sita, she comes to the temple of Mother Parvati, Divine Mother Temple, because there is a tradition that to be bride, she goes to the temple of Divine Mother to seek her blessings. So to follow that tradition, Sita goes there with her friends. And the temple was right there in that flower garden, near the lake in the flower garden. And when Sita goes to the temple, she worships Divine Mother and asks her a suitable match for herself. And as she is coming out of the temple, one of Sita's friends, she looks at Rama and Lakshmana, and she just mesmerized by their beauty. And she immediately comes to Sita and says, there are two just so amazing boys are there. And then another of her friends said, they probably are the ones who came with Vishwamitra yesterday, and they have mesmerized the whole city. Whoever looks at them cannot turn away their eyes from them. And on this side, Rama and Lakshmana, they also see Sita, and Rama is just not able to blink his eyes. He is so taken in by Sita's beauty. And then he says a beautiful thing to Lakshmana, his younger brother. He says, she is Sita. It is her marriage ceremony which is being celebrated as the bow festival. Whoever will break that bow will win her. She is so beautiful, and my mind is strangely attracted towards her. But I have such a good control of my mind that it can never be just taken by any negative thoughts. So even in this, I do not see anything negative in my heart. I see it just as a natural thing that my heart is attracted towards her. And then on the other side, Sita sees Rama and Lakshmana, and when she sees Rama, she also forgets to blink her eyes. And it is said that she closes her eyes. The metaphor poet is using here is that as if she has taken in the image of Rama in her eyes and closed the eyes to meditate on Rama. So both feel tremendously attracted to each other. They do not meet, they do not talk, just look at each other from a distance. And the friends who had come with Sita, they could sense Sita's attraction also towards Rama. And after Sita sees Rama in this fashion, she again goes to the temple of Divine Mother. And again she prays to her that my heart has come to Rama. It has been taken by Rama. Please bless me that he be my husband. And Divine Mother blesses her that not to worry, whoever you want, whatever you want will indeed happen. And Rama and Lakshmana then return with the flowers to their guru, that is Vishwamitra. So here is a glimpse of simplicity of Rama's heart. Hirday sarahat siye lonai, Guru samip gavne do bhai, Ram kaha sab kausik pahi, Saral subhav chuvat chal nahi. So in his heart he is praising the beauty of Sita, and in that manner he is going to his guru Vishwamitra. And when he reaches to Vishwamitra, he tells everything of his heart to him. He is so simple and straightforward that there is no guile in his heart. He just tells very simply to Vishwamitra, that this is what happened in flower garden. I saw Sita and my mind is attracted towards her. Vishwamitra just smiles. And then after this, the actual ceremony, the bow ceremony is taking place. And King Janaka, he invites Vishwamitra along with the princes to be a part of this ceremony, to watch, to bless this ceremony, because Vishwamitra is a great sage. So he invites, receives them very cordially, and then gives them a very prominent seat in the assembly hall where this ceremony was taking place. And different kings from different places had come. They were all given the proper place as per their stature, as well as the citizens. So everybody was accommodated, and it was a great grand ceremony which was taking place. When Rama and Lakshmana arrive in that assembly, Tulsidas ji says, and this is a famous verse in Manas, like people can quote many times even today in India. जिनके रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरति तिन देखी तैसी देखई रूप महारन धीरा मनहु वीर रसुधरे शरीरा डरे कुटिल नृप प्रभु ही निहारी मनहु भयानक मूरति भारी रहे असुर छल छोनिप बेशा तिन प्रभु प्रगट काल सम देखा पुरबासिन देखे दो भाई नरभूषण लोचन सुखदाई. So what the poet is saying here is that when the Lord entered into this assembly hall, this celebration, this festival, people saw Lord Rama as per their own feelings. So it's not like one form. So like people who were great and very brave kings, they saw him a great warrior in Lord Rama, great, very powerful prince in Lord Rama. Those who had the guile in their hearts, those who were not straightforward among the kings, the wicked ones, they saw the Lord in a very terrible form. The demons saw Lord as the death personified. And when the different citizens of the kingdom, they saw both the brothers, they saw them as ornaments of humanity and delight of their eyes. So when everybody is seated properly in the assembly hall, King Janaka orders that let the ceremony begin with the permission of his guru. So a person first announces the condition of the bow festival. He says, here is the daughter of Janaka, King Janaka, named Sita, and she will marry the one who can break this formidable bow of Lord Shiva. That bow, as I told you in the last class, it was so formidable, so heavy, that most of the people, they could not even just make it move a little bit, let alone lift it up, string the bow and break it. So because of this condition that one has to break this bow, so lift it first, of course, and then stretch the bow and then break it. The person had to be extremely powerful in order to perform this feat. That's the reason why King Janaka had kept this condition, that the one who can break this bow, my daughter Sita will marry him. So this condition was told in a very formal manner at the start of that ceremony. And then one by one, kings started coming to near the bow to try their might, whether they can break the bow or not. So they are coming and they are praying, they are showing a lot of valor, and then they are falling short, even in lifting, even in moving the bow a little bit from its place. So one after another, and they are feeling very ashamed, returning back to their place. One after another, they are coming, and again they are not able to do anything with the bow. It is so heavy, so formidable, that despite all their might, they are not able to even move a bit. When kings are so unsuccessful in their efforts, then some of them make a group and say, okay, we will try together to lift and break this bow. And then later on we'll decide whom Sita marries. So they attempted that part also. They made groups, they tried together to lift the bow, and they could not. So even when they are coming in the groups, they could not move the bow. And with dejected hearts, with a lot of shame on their face, they went back in their to their seats. When King Janaka saw the state of affairs as thus, he was very sad, because there is nobody whom Sita could marry now, because nobody could even tilt the bow, let alone lift it and break it. So he was very sad, and in his dejection and part anger, he said that I did not know that this whole earth is devoid of any brave person. Had I known that, I would not have kept such kind of condition for the marriage of my daughter Sita. And now it seems that my daughter will remain virgin. She will not find a husband, because I don't want to go back on my word. It will be not a good omen that I make her marry to someone without breaking the bow. So that's not something I'm inclined to. And considering that none of you could even tilt the bow, let alone lift it and break it, I feel that in her fate, marriage is not there. When Lakshmana heard this, Rama's younger brother, he felt extremely upset on these words. And he wanted to give a retort, really angry retort, and he was hesitant because Lord Rama was sitting and Vishwamitra was sitting, his guru. But despite that, he got up from his seat, he bowed down to them, and then told Janaka, O king, these are very unbecoming words coming out of your mouth. Nobody speaks like this in an assembly where people from Raghuvansha. Raghuvansha is the clan to which they belong. Rama, Lakshmana, Rama and his brothers. So they are belonging to this clan of Raghu. So he said that where people of this clan, this family are sitting, nobody speaks these kind of words, that earth is devoid of brave people. And in particular, Lord Rama himself is sitting here. What are you talking of this bow? This is like nothing for me. If I get the permission of my elder brother and my guru, I can even lift up the mountains and crush them to the dust. That is like, I'm not saying out of any boast, that is just out of my nature I'm saying. So in that strain, Lakshmana says a few things, and then Rama calms him down and asks him to sit down. And then Vishwamitra, he found that suitable occasion. So here is the verse here. Vishwamitra samay subh jani, bole ati saneha mein bani, uthahu ram bhanjahu bhava chapa, metahu tat janak paritapa, suni guru bachan charan sirunava, हर्ष विषाद न कछुर आवा, ठाड़े भय उठ सहज सुभाए, ठवन जुबा मृगराज लजाए. So Vishwamitra, then sensing it a suitable occasion, in a very affectionate terms, he told Rama that, "O Rama, please get up and break this bow." And the reason he gave is that you remove the anguish of Janaka. That is the reason he gave, that you remove the anguish of Janaka by breaking the bow. Then, hearing these words, he bowed down to his guru. And here is a very beautiful thing which Tulsidas ji has said, Harash Vishadana Kach Urava. There was no joy or sorrow in his heart. He is like that eternal being, nothing touches. So in his heart, he is perfectly calm and even and serene. Neither he has that expectation that now he will get to marry Sita if he breaks the bow, nor he has any sorrow or worry in his heart that, oh, everybody failed here and to break the bow, what will happen? So he just, in his native grace, he stood up and started to go towards breaking the bow. All these things, when Tulsidas is describing in Manas, if you know the original language and if you read, it's a beautiful poetry and it evokes a lot of emotions in the one who is reading. It's very difficult to bring all those things in this kind of class where I'm just covering the basic story. So Lord Rama goes, and as he is going, because he is very tender looking. He just is like a boy, that kind of appearance. So everybody is surprised when all these powerful kings, they feel, what is happening here? Do these people not know that this boy will not be able to do anything? He doesn't even look like that he can kill a mosquito, and he is being asked to break this bow. Sita's mother has these concerns that it seems that my husband has gone mad and he is allowing even this kind of thing to happen. Then one of her friends says, look, you should not be deceived by the looks. Sometimes even a very small thing can actually bring out a great results. So when Sita's mother heard that, she was calmed down a little bit. She felt happy in her heart because she did want, looking at Rama, she did want that he would be the most suitable husband for her daughter, Sita. But she could not bring herself to believe that Rama could break the bow. When Sita looks at Rama coming to break the bow, she is extremely happy, but at the same time she is extremely sad and worried, because happy on the thing that she could marry Rama, but sad and worried that how would he be able to break this bow? It is so heavy, so formidable bow. Then she just prays to different gods and goddesses. So here is the verse. Tab Rama hi bilok baidehi, सभय हृदय बिन बत जेहि तेहि, मन ही मन मनाव अकुलानी, होहु प्रसन्न महेश भवानी, करहु सफल आपन सेवकाई, करहितु हरहु चाप गरुआई, तन मन बचन मोर पनु साचा, रघुपति पद सरोज चितुराचा, तो भगवान सकल उर्बासी, करहि मोहि रघुबर कै दासी, जेहि के जेहि पर सत्य सनेहु, सोते ही मिलई न कछु संदेहु. This is also a very famous quote from Manas. जेहि के जे पर सत्य सनेहु, that the one always gets united with his or her cherished love. So here the poet is describing the state of mind of Sita, that she is just praying to different gods and goddesses. In her heart, she is very worried and anxious. And she is saying to Lord Shiva and Parvati, please be pleased with me. Let this bow become very light, because this is the bow of Lord Shiva. So she is praying to Lord Shiva. And then she is saying that, look, this is the day for which I have always worshipped you. So please fulfill my desire for this day. And in that phrase, then she finally prays to bow itself, that please become light for my sake, for the sake of Rama. And Lord Rama is just going, looking at the bow, and slowly, with measured steps, he reaches the place where bow is kept. And he's just looking at it. Then he looks at different people. He looks at Sita. When Lakshmana finds that Lord Rama is looking at the bow, he understood that now he will be breaking the bow. In Lakshmana, in Manas, Lakshmana is considered the incarnation of Sheshanaga. Sheshanaga is divine serpent who is mythologically he is described as holding the earth on his head. He is a 1,000-footed snake who is holding the head on his head. That is Sheshanaga. So the mythological story is this, but the metaphorical, or you can say more logical explanation of this is because we have gone around the earth and there is no snake. So the word Shesha means the remaining. So earth is actually supported by the everything remaining around it. And that is like thousands in number. So with the gravitation force of all the other objects around it, that is what is supporting the earth. So in that sense, it's a very scientific way, but mythologically it is put in the form of a 1,000-footed snake and supporting the earth. So Lakshmana at that time presses the earth and tells his other form, which is Sheshanaga, that remain in a state of alertness, because Rama wants to break the bow of Shiva and it would create a huge tremor in the earth, so to speak. So just make sure that everything you remain steady and do not get trembled because of this impact. And Rama looks at Sita. So here are some verses. Dekhi bipul bikal bay dehi, nimish bihat kalap samtehi, turshit bari binu jo tanu tyaga, मुए करई का सुधा तड़ागा, का वर्षा सब कृषि सुखाने, समय चुके पुनि का पछताने, अस जिय जान की देखी, प्रभु पुल के लखी प्रीति विशेषी, गुरहि प्रणाम मनहि मन कीना, अति लाघव उठाई धनुलीना, दम क्यों दामिनी जिम जब लयऊ, पुनि नभ धनु मंडल सम भयऊ, लेत चढ़ावत खेचत गाणे, काहू न लखा देख सब ठाणे, तेहि क्षण राम मध्य धनु तोरा, भरे भुबंधु निघोर कठोरा. So Rama looks at Sita and he sees her condition. She is so anxious that every moment is as if equivalent to the millions of years or billions of years. Kalpa, the measurement of time I had told you, it's 4.32 billion years. So as if, this is just a poet's way of comparing, as if every instant is passing so slowly for her. And when Rama looks at Sita, he realizes that if it gets any further delayed, she might even give up her body in that anxiety. And if somebody dies without water, after that, even if you give nectar, it is of no use. And this is another famous quote from Manas, Ka barsha sab krushi sukhane, samay chuke puni ka pachitane. What is the use of rains if the crops are already dried up? There is no use repenting over an opportunity lost. So in that way, he decided not to delay any further. So he bows down to his guru, Vishwamitra, mentally. And then very quickly and effortlessly, he just picks up the bow, takes in his hands, and he strings the bow, stretches to the extent that it becomes in a circle, and then he stretches a little bit more and the bow breaks. So in that instantly, Rama picks up the bow, stretches it, and breaks the bow. Nobody is able to even, he does everything so quickly that people cannot even see the steps. They just see that he just is standing with the bow in his hands and then it breaks. This verse, Tehi Chan Rama Madhya Dhanu Tora. Madhya means middle. In that moment, Rama breaks the bow in the middle. And that created such a terrible sound, it reverberates everywhere. This, if you go to India and listen to some of the people who expound on this Manas, they do not just tell the plain simple story as I'm telling because some of you may not have the knowledge of the story. There in India, most of the people know the basic story. So they tell the basic story, but then they tell many more things. And sometimes even to take just one verse and explain it for an hour or more. So in one case, I heard one of the such person, we call them Kathakara, the storyteller, the divine storytellers. He explained more than 10 meanings of this word middle. The Rama broke the bow in the middle. So one thing is obvious that it broke in the middle of the bow. Another is it was daytime, so in the middle of the day. It was not like early morning, late evening. It was middle of the day that when he broke. So it was in the middle. Then like that, he gave more than 10 meanings of just on this word, that what does this madhya, the middle. So like that, you will hear many of the storytellers who will just take a verse and then expound on that verse for hours or more. So in that, so till this point, Rama goes and breaks the bow. When Rama breaks the bow, there are many kings who tried their effort earlier and they are infatuated with Sita. They wanted to marry Sita, But now they cannot get Sita because Rama broke the bow and they could not. So they get very agitated and they start making the noise that what if he broke the bow? We will have a fight with him, we'll kill him, we'll kill both the princes and we'll take Sita with us. When all this commotion was going on, and it was giving a lot of anger to Lakshmana because he just wanted to finish all these kings, which he was quite capable of. There was one person who enters into the assembly at that time, and he is a very special person. So here is some verses. तेहि अवसर सुनि शिव धनु भंगा आयस भृग कुल कमल पतंगा देख महीप सकल सकुचाने बाज झपट जनु लवा लुकाने देखत भृगुपति वेशु कराला उठे सकल भय विकल भुआला पितु समेत कहि कहि निज नामा लगे करन सब दंड प्रणामा. So the moment when all these things were going on, the bow broke, it made a terrible sound. The kings started getting agitated. Sita comes and puts the garland of flowers on Rama's neck, as is the custom in India. So in India, in a marriage ceremony, the bride comes and puts a flower garland around the neck of groom. So Sita did that to Rama. And that when all this is happening, there is this sage Parashurama. He comes in. Even though he is a sage, he is a Brahmin, he is a great meditator and a person of penance, but he is also a great warrior. He fought a lot of battles and he killed a lot of people. He is known as a very, very angry person. And he had for his weapon an axe. It's a divine axe. When he has this axe, AXEX, it is difficult to defeat him. So he is a very formidable warrior. Almost everybody is afraid of him. And in particular, he is the enemy of the Kshatriya race, the kingly, the princely race. So he has killed them so many times earlier in the past. So when he enters into this assembly, everybody gets alerted. Everybody is terrified. All the kings who had come there and who were making this noise that let us kill Rama and Lakshmana and take Sita with us, they immediately became silent. They started slowly come down, tell their name, their father's name, and bow down to Parashurama. Then Janaka, the king, he also came with his daughter Sita and asks her to bow down to Parashurama, and she does so, and Parashurama blesses her. Then Vishwamitra also comes, and Vishwamitra asks Rama and Lakshmana to bow down to Parashurama, which they do. And Parashurama, he blesses them, but at the same time, he is also mesmerized by beauty of Rama. And then he looks at Janaka, and he knew everything what had happened because the Shiva's bow, which is the one he had given to Janaka, that broke, and he was quite upset about it. But as if he doesn't know, he asks Janaka as if, why all these people are here? What is going on? And King Janaka, he understood the anger or the hidden anger of the question of Parshurama. So he explains as humbly as he can, with a little bit of a fear, that I had organized this bow ceremony, that whoever breaks this bow will marry my daughter Sita. So this is what all these kings came here for. This is what the ceremony. And then he looks around and he sees the two pieces of bow on the ground. And Parshurama now gets really angry and he says, "Oh Janaka, immediately tell me who break this bow. I'll have a fight with him and I'll kill him. If you don't tell me straightforward, I'll just destroy the whole of your kingdom and kill everybody here." Now it was a moment of terrible happenings. Everybody who was quite happy seeing Rama had broken the bow and about to marry Sita, all the ladies of the house, everybody is kind of in terror. Then Lord Rama comes forward. He bows down to Parshurama. And then he says beautifully this thing. Nath sambhudhanu bhanjanihara, hoi hi keu ek das tumhara, aya sukah kahiya ke namohi, sunir sai bole muniko hi. So Lord Rama says, "Oh my Lord," he tells Parshurama, "that it must be one of your servants who has broken this bow of Lord Shiva. Please tell me, you can give me the order that what can I do for you? What is your command?" So the Parshurama got really more angry and he says, "He is not my servant, he is my enemy who has broken this bow. And he has to fight with me and I'll finish him today." This when Parshurama is getting angry in such manner, Lakshmana is kind of having a little bit laugh within, the younger brother of Rama. And he starts taunting Parshurama. He says, "Hey, we broke many of the bows in our childhood. You never came, you never became angry. What is so special about this one? Why are you coming like this?" Now, this is a very interesting episode. The dialogue between Lakshmana and Parshurama, where Parshurama is getting very angry and Lakshmana is just like putting the oil in the fire a little bit, with a little smile, with some of his comments. It's a little long episode. I will not go through all those dialogues. But the thing what happens is that Parshurama gets more and more angry, and Lakshmana is again sort of smiling at him, laughing at him, making taunting comments at him. And finally he says, "If I kill this little boy, nobody should blame me because he is really asking for it." And then Rama comes forward and he says, "Well, he is just a boy. You can just not take what he says very seriously. I am your real culprit. So you tell me, what can I do? My head is before you. If you just want, you are a sage. So we never attack any sage. Our head always bows down before a Brahman and sage. And you can even ask me for my head. I'll happily give to you, because we do not say no to a Brahman. So then Parashurama gets further upset and he says, "You think I'm only a Brahmin? I'll show you who I am. I'm a great warrior, and if you are the one who has broken the bow, then I'll fight with you. You give me a fight, and then I'll show you." So Rama now says that, "Look, we have been very humble, even my brother. We haven't said only these things because we have tremendous respect for Brahmins. If you think that we are afraid of you because of your capabilities, then please don't remain in any such illusion. Even if death comes before us, we will not step back." And when Parshurama heard all these words, he realized that he is facing not an ordinary person. And then occurred to him that maybe the Lord himself has come here, and he wanted to verify that Lord Rama is indeed the Lord. So he had this bow and another bow of Lord Vishnu. Apparently, the only one who could put an arrow on this bow, as per the quality of the bow, was Lord Vishnu himself, who had come as Lord Rama. So he requests that please take this bow and remove my doubts. So here is the verse. Ram Ramapati kar dhanu lehu, khenchahu mite mor sandehu, det chapu apu hi chali gayahu, Parasuram man vismaya bhayahu. So he tells, O Rama, take this bow of Lord Vishnu and draw it so that my doubts may be cleared. It so happened that Lord Rama, like as a bow stretched by itself, it happened without any effort on his part. And when Parashurama saw this, he got amazed. He felt amazed, and then he bows down to Lord Rama. He praises him and he asks for forgiveness to both Rama and Lakshmana. And then he departs from that assembly. When all the other people saw that even Parashurama, he just bows down to Rama and departs from an assembly. Now all these kings, they quietly departed. Now, at this point of time, King Janaka asked Vishwamitra that what should we do? You see, this is the situation where Lord Rama just came to visit the place and now he has broken the bow. There are no family members with him yet, just he and his brother. So King Janaka is asking that what should we do? So Vishwamitra says that, look, as far as the marriage of these two people, that has already taken place, because that was under the condition of bow being broken. So that is already done. But now to formalize it with a proper ceremony, you should do the whatever is needful. And for that, you should invite Dasharatha. You should inform Dasharatha, Rama's father. Invite him to your kingdom and have the marriage ceremony formally completed with all the proper rituals and other things. So he sends a messenger to Dasharatha, and here is the verse. Pahunche doot Rampur pavan, harshe nagar bilo ki suhavan, bhup dwar tin khabar janai, Dasrath nrup sun liye bulai. So Janaka's messengers arrived to Dasharatha, Rama's father, and they gave him the letter of invitation as well as describing the events, whatever have happened so far. This was the first news regarding Rama and Lakshmana to Dasharatha since the time Vishwamitra had taken them. So he was extremely happy to receive the news of Rama and Lakshmana, and particularly all the happy tidings which happened. So, and then there was an invitation for Dasharatha to come. So Dasharatha, along with his army, his other two sons, Bharata and Shatrughna, his guru Vasishtha, they all went. They all prepared. They were all very happy. Whole Ayodhya started getting decorated, and they went to Mithila, the place of King Janaka. And there, the whole ceremony in all its grand pomp and show takes place. This whole ceremony is described in a huge detail, the whole marriage ceremony by Tulsidas in Manas. I'm not covering all that details here, but just to suffice to know that it was a very grand, very elaborate festival ceremony. Everybody, both in Ayodhya and Mithila, they are extremely happy to see Rama and Sita getting married. At this occasion, it also happened, King Janaka suggested the wives for the other three brothers from his family. So the marriage of all the four brothers happened at the same time. And then they come back to Ayodhya. Rama, Lakshmana, everybody, Bharat, Shatrughna, the whole family, and Vishwamitra also, they come back to Ayodhya. Ayodhya also, there are a lot of festivities. Everybody is very happy. This is like a very happy occasion. And reading through these multiple verses in Manas, one feels very happy because Tulsidas describes it so beautifully. So, just here, one verse here. Mudit avadpati sakal sut badun samet nihar janupai mahipal mani kriyan sahit falchar आय ब्याहि राम घर जबते बसई आनंद अवध सब तबते प्रभु विवाह जस भयउ छाहु सकहि न बरन गिरा अहिनाहु. So Dasharatha, the king of Ayodhya, he was delighted to see all his sons with their wives, as if one has attained the fourfold goal of human life. So, fourfold goal of human life is described as dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. The righteousness, the prosperity, the fulfillment of desires, and the ultimate liberation. So he was so happy that as if he has attained everything in his life. And that from the time when Lord Rama has come to Ayodhya, everybody is so happy in the whole Ayodhya. And Tulsidas is saying that kind of festivities, that kind of joy, that kind of enthusiasm, that cannot be described by even the goddess of speech, Saraswati. So in this way, we today concluded the first chapter. So if you remember, Manas has 7 chapters, 7 kandas. So the first one is Balakanda. I think I have the list somewhere. Count of verses. Yes, Balakanda. So 361 verses. So till now we have finished till today. So today's story finishes this Balakanda. So from next class onwards, we'll get into the story of Ayodhya Kanda, the next chapter. So today's class is coming to an end. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to write in the chat window. So if there are no questions or comments, we'll close the class with the prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you everyone.